Jamel, how you doing?
Listen, Jern, I'm good. Listen, for a minute, I thought we had the same last name. I was looking over there in the corner. Like, I said, "Oh, we might be related, man. What's up?"
You never know, man. It's yours is a little bit easier to pronounce than mine, but no, man, things are good. It's been a minute since we've talked last, but it's been 7 months since your last fight, and obviously, I feel like a lot has changed since then. What's been the biggest thing that you've had to adjust to since then to now?
um, a new team.
Hmm.
Clearly, and that hasn't been so much of a big adjustment because I've known Manny Robles for over 10 years, and we worked together in the past. People forget or don't know at least that when I had to qualify to get to the Olympics, they had sent me to LA to train at the Rock Gym where he was at. And that's where we started forming our relationship and working together. And I had him in my corner during the Olympic qualifiers in Brazil. And, Manny helped me along the way. And he was there with me in the Olympics. So I've always had a great relationship with Manny Robles. But, it's basically one of those things where you have to go back to, you know, opening that door again and seeing what happens.
When you kind of get that news, and how did Brian talk to you first, or did you kind of find out through other means that the business relationship or the working relationship was
No,
no
he
longer?
he actually he. It's funny because I knew something was wrong. I know
Hmm.
I knew it's just like things were just off. Like after my last fight, and the communication it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And it was at a point where I actually reached out to him saying, "Hey, man, like when I had got my, the date for May at least, so, hey, usually I said we have an 8 week camp. We have an 8 week camp. But I haven't been hearing from you. Like I want to, like I need a schedule. Like I want to schedule the week by week. How we normally do for camp, and it's getting close to that time. So listen, are we going to do this? Am I still welcome to the gym or not?" And then he
Hmm.
reached out. He said, "No, no, no. I've been busy. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk soon." And then we were speaking, and things were good. And then like it's like at the last wire, then it was him in return to say, "You know what? I think it's just best that we just go our separate ways." So I had to, and luckily, for me, it's funny because I manage a fighter, Micaiah Krebs, who just won just this past weekend.
Hmm.
And I actually was taking her to LA to meet Manny Robles for her to work with him. And Manny had basically said, "Hey man, whenever you want to come down as well, my door's always open to you." But at the time, I just shrugged it off, took it as a joke. Like, okay, Manny, I'll see you around. But then when everything happened with me, in between me and Bomac, I was like, you know what? I might have to take Manny up on that offer, and I gave him a call, and we just hit it off again.
And I know that things happen in business, and things happen. This is fairly common where people change trainers and there's things of that
Right.
nature. The way that Brian kind of talked about it, he kind of alluded to things not being said to him. Is that normally something that you guys would talk about, or your like business matters?
I mean, I don't blame him. You could say it business matters, but it would just, I think it all started with the Frampton fight. If I'm being honest, like, he's always been my manager, but I had brought in MTK, to help out to help me get the Frampton fight, but as my advisors, and I think he kind of felt like he was kind of pushed to the side, which I can understand, but I always kept him in the loop of everything going on because again he's my manager, so I kept him in the circle with everything going on, because at that point in time I absolutely needed that Fenta fight because I needed a name. I needed a marquee name on my resume. And then also MTK, before everything went crazy, they helped get the negotiate the Stevenson fight as well.
Hmm.
So I think it was kind of sort of like started from the whole MTK thing, and but like after the Stevenson fight, I had parted ways with MTK, and just started and it was still communicating with Brian about things, but I think that probably was maybe his breaking point. Like I said, I can't tell you because we haven't really dug too deep into it, but like I said, at the same time, I just seen him. I just seen him recently because he trains Keyshawn Davis now, and he had Keyshawn Davis on the Stevenson Valdez card, and I commentated that card. So I seen them all, and it was all love and respect, and there was no animosity or bad blood. So as long as I can keep a matter of fact, I just spoke to him yesterday because I managed a fighter that he trains, Michael Gamble, and he was asking about the update. So there's still a talking communication there, but like I said, I think on the business end, we just couldn't get on the same page.
Talking about the fighters that you're managing, is this kind of like where you see a possible venue for you in your future? Is this like a managerial thing? Is that what you see life after boxing being?
For me, is it definitely I can see myself doing it more, like getting more involved because right now I'm still an active fighter myself, but I don't like I honestly haven't made a penny off of it. Because like I said, I know what it is when you start out as a young fighter. You're not getting anything, if anything. So for me, it's more of like right now. I look at it with these kids is more of a mentor as a mentor role. Like I'm trying to like give them, you know, put them on stuff that like what to look out for, and be actually a more than just a manager. Somebody that actually wants to see them succeed and get to where they want to be at, whether it's the the big title fights or the big money purses and things like that. But from yeah, I mean, and besides that, Tyreek has been great to me in terms of allowing me to commentate, alongside my good friend Christina Pancha. So I wanna also see myself doing that as well as well as other things. So right now, like I don't want to be that fighter when I'm done fighting. It's like okay, what now? I want to start making my mark in other things. So when I do fight, when I do stop fighting myself, I can just walk right into whatever I was doing, for the past 2 3 years now. So and I'm not looking clueless out here. But yeah, for right now, like I said, I got fighters, Micaiah Krabs, Michael Gambo, Misael Lopez, Matthew Rodriguez, who also just fought this past weekend with a victory. So yeah, Misael Lopez just fought recently as well in Denver, Colorado. Michael Gambo's undefeated. Micaiah Krebs came up fifth round TKO. I'm just happy to see these individuals just grow, and I'm actually looking forward to bringing in more talent to to mold and look out for as well. So I mean that's just who I am. That's my character. Like I'm not in it right now for the money. I make a good living with my own purses when I'm fighting. So like right now, I'm just trying to just make sure that these kids are taken care of and they're not being taken advantage of.
Now, considering that I'm a year older than you, I'm certainly not calling you old. But in boxing, there's a timeline, and there's usually a certain level of time that a fighter can do what they do.
Right.
For you, in the way you feel right now, how much longer do you see this? Do you
It's
see your
crazy. I'm glad you brought that up, Jay, because it's funny. My biggest critic was the one that actually gave me some great advice, and that's my good friend Timothy Bradley. I'll never forget. It was at the Crawford Porter fight, and he came over to me. He said, "Listen, I don't want to see you stop fighting. But what I do want to see is that you work smarter and not harder because you're getting older." And he said, "Listen, you don't got to because like everyone who knows me, I have that Marine Corps mentality. So I was always the one that was thinking work, 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 and I was always out there and just giving everything 120%. But like when I went over to Manny, he had the same mindset as Timothy Bradley and saying like, listen, you already know what it takes to be a world champion. You already know what it takes to get to that level, but you don't have to kill your body in the process of doing it. So I think that's why I like to say, at this camp, I have like no injuries, no aches and pains in my joints or hands or anything like that. And you can see I look healthy. I look, what I mean, the weight's coming off well. I'm not killing myself. I'm actually more excited just to see how I perform, even against an undefeated younger fighter, because I've had a great camp. So right now we're just taking it, of course, one fight at a time. But if we continue going the route that I'm going now with Manny Robles and of course fighting success, I could see myself getting back into the bigger fights and and getting, another world title around my waist, whether it's at, 135 or 130.
I know that, this is your first fight, I think, since 2017 at lightweight.
Right.
How does your body feel different at lightweight, or kind of in the progress towards a lightweight fight versus super featherweight?
I actually feel stronger, and I
Mhm.
honestly, I don't know now. I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you right now if it's so much of because of being back at lightweight or because of the change in training regimen. Because I just feel like, if I had to make 130, I could make 130 as well. But I just feel right now, speaking with you, I feel a lot stronger. That's why I've been sharing a lot of my content on my Instagram, at least with training. But I just feel good. I feel good. Usually, anybody can tell you fighters around this time, they're very irritable. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to do they don't want to do interviews or anything. But like for me, I'm okay. And that's another thing I'm glad you brought up. Like I hope people are not fooled by thinking that I'm a smaller fighter coming up. Like, no, I started my career at lightweight, so it's not unfamiliar territory, uncharted waters. But I feel good. I feel strong. My mind mentally in the game, and I'm actually excited. I'm excited to get back in the ring.
Jamaine Ortiz, young, as you said, a young, hungry fighter, undefeated, has had some challenges in the ring. How familiar are you with him as a fighter, and do you think that that experience is going to be the deciding factor in this one?
Well, I will say my good friend, Joseph Adorno did reach out to me when he heard the pound was announced. But so yeah, I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with Jamel Ortiz. He had a real good, entertaining fight, at least with Adorno. But like I said, he has some challenges, and I think that's come from experience, and he hasn't fought on the level that I have fought on. And regardless, like I said, listen, um, even my very first world title defense was against a guy that was 10 years younger than me and undefeated, and that was my good friend Lamont Roach. And I had a hiccup in the 11th round when I got caught, but I weathered the storm and I still came out on top. And so so really that doesn't bother me as long as I keep stay in shape and keep my mind sharp, and and still have my I feel like I said, my trainers can tell you, still have my timing and reflexes. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It doesn't matter, like, because most know me outside. It's all about how you take care of yourself. Also outside of the ring, I don't go out and party and do crazy stuff, and I definitely don't kill my body to where you see me have to lose 30 or 40 pounds in training camp. Like, no, like usually I'm like right there in terms of weight. So I don't not I'm never a weight drain, but that's why I'm so motivated, because I'm actually motivated because I get to fight another undefeated fighter and like potentially take their O as well. And because listen, I've been in that position before when I was 15-0, and I fought Dennis Shavakov, who was a seasoned fighter, and that was my first. That was my first defeat. So I feel like I'm in that same situation, but on the other side of the table this time.
Final question for me. You know, at this point in your career, as you said, you've been a world champion. You've got to that highest level. Working with the new trainer, how long does it take before you guys kind of feel that vibe between you, where you guys click? And rather than trying to teach you something, is it more about encouraging and kind of just managing where you're at along the timeline?
You know what it is like with a new team? It's all about trust.
Hmm.
But it's all about, because you gotta believe in what they see or what they're saying is beneficial to you as well in the ring. And like I said, I love Manny to death. Manny he's always been a great friend for starters. But when I started working with the other trainers around him, that's when I had to build the trust, and they've done a great job with me. I mean, like I said, my strength coach, he's done a hell of a job. My assistant trainer, Edgar, he's done a hell of a job as well. Like I said, for me, we always say, listen, it's the next training camp is going to be the one of our best, because we had to start learning obviously the different routine and the schedule and how they work and how they think, and they had and more importantly their personalities, and how everybody ticks. But we actually feel like we had a great camp overall in the past couple of months. But we know now that we're familiar with each other, that the next camp is definitely going to be better. But we definitely had a great camp this camp, and I'm actually looking forward to coming back out here to LA to working with these guys, these gentlemen again.
Well, Jamel, it sounds like things are going your way right now. As always, thank you for the
And listen, I can drink water all day and not have to worry about killing my body to make So obviously I'm good, Jeremy. I'm telling you, like listen, I feel like it's gonna be a great fight, and I actually, I'm a fan of Genevics, but I feel like it's still a Jamel Herring show, and I want to steal the show this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
No doubt, man. Well, it seems like you're doing it right. And the one thing when anyone says your name, don't care who it is, anyone that's had any interaction, he's the nicest guy. And I think they're right, man. So thank you for always being a class act and a great guy. Best of luck coming to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it.